Have you ever stopped to think that the time you go to bed could be the key to unlocking better health, sharper memory, and a more energized life? If you're over 70 or caring for someone in their golden years, this might be the most important message you hear today. As someone who has spent over 2 decades studying sleep and its impact on aging, I've seen firsthand how a simple shift in bedtime can transform lives. Poor sleep, sluggish mornings, and chronic fatigue don't have to be inevitable parts of aging, because the solution might be easier than you think. The secret lies in understanding how sleep changes as we grow older. It's not just about how much sleep you get, it's about when you sleep. And today, I'm going to reveal the science behind it. Did you know that seniors who adjust their sleep schedules see significant improvements in heart health, mental clarity, and overall well-being? I've seen it happen time and time again in my practice. Real people, real struggles, and real solutions that made all the difference. Let's start with something many people don't realize. Your sleep at 70 is not the same as it was at 50. In fact, it's almost completely restructured. If you've ever found yourself wondering, why don't I sleep like I used to? Or, why do I wake up exhausted even after a full night's rest? You're not alone. I hear these questions from my patients every single day. And the answer lies in the natural changes your body undergoes as you age. According to the latest research, over 65% of adults over 70 experience major shifts in their sleep patterns. That means it's not just a random frustration, it's a widespread issue that has a scientific explanation. But here's the good news. Aging doesn't mean you have to suffer through restless nights. It just means you need to adjust your approach. I'll never forget one of my patients, Mr. Johnson, a retired teacher full of life and curiosity. For decades, he followed the same bedtime routine. He would settle into bed at his usual time, expecting the deep, restful sleep he'd always had. But over the years, something changed. He began waking up multiple times a night, feeling groggy in the mornings, and struggling to stay energized throughout the day. When he came to me, I could see the frustration in his eyes. "Doctor, I don't understand," he said. "I've done everything the same way for years. Why isn't my sleep the same?" After running some tests, I explained something that shocked him. By the time we reach 70, our deep sleep waves decrease by nearly 40% compared to when we were in our 50s. That means even if you're getting the same number of hours, the quality of your sleep isn't what it used to be. But here's the incredible part. This isn't just an unavoidable consequence of aging. It's something you can improve. In my practice, I've found that about 80% of my patients over 70 struggle with sleep timing. The most common mistake: fighting against their natural body clock. Many older adults feel sleepy earlier in the evening but force themselves to stay up later, thinking it's too soon for bed. Then they wake up the next morning regretting it, wondering why they still feel tired. This is where the science gets fascinating. A groundbreaking 2024 study from Harvard revealed that as we age, our bodies start producing melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep, earlier in the evening. At the same time, cortisol, the hormone that wakes us up, starts rising earlier in the morning. It's not a flaw in our system, it's an adaptation. Our bodies are naturally shifting to an earlier sleep schedule, yet many people fight against it, making sleep harder than it needs to be. Think of it this way: your body is like a finely tuned instrument, and your internal clock is the conductor. When we fight against the rhythm, we create discord. But when we work with it, everything falls into place effortlessly. This is why adjusting your sleep schedule isn't just about getting more rest. It's about restoring balance to your entire system. I've seen this transformation firsthand. One of my patients, Mrs. Williams, had spent years battling chronic insomnia. She had tried everything: sleeping pills, herbal teas, meditation, but nothing worked. She would lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling more and more frustrated. When I suggested she start going to bed at 9:30 p.m. instead of midnight, she was skeptical. "I've been a night owl my whole life," she told me, but she agreed to give it a try. 2 weeks later, she walked into my office with a smile on her face. "Doctor, I can't believe it," she said. "I've been sleeping through the night without waking up. I feel like a new person." Her energy levels had soared, her mood had lifted, and for the first time in years, she felt truly rested. And she's not alone. Patients who adjust their bedtime to align with their body's natural rhythms experience life-changing improvements. The best part? The changes don't take months or years to show results. Many of my patients start feeling the difference within just a few weeks. The secret lies in accepting that your body isn't working against you. It's guiding you toward what it needs. So what happens when you embrace these changes? You stop struggling with sleepless nights. You wake up feeling refreshed. Your mind feels sharper, your body stronger, and your mood lighter. You regain control over your energy, your health, and your quality of life. But we're just getting started. In the next section, I'll reveal the exact window of time that can supercharge your sleep and unlock incredible health benefits. It's a simple shift that could make all the difference, and I can't wait to share it with you. Imagine waking up feeling truly refreshed, your mind clear, your body energized. No more grogginess, no more dragging yourself through the day. It sounds like a dream, but it's entirely possible if you understand the science behind the perfect sleep window. Researchers have discovered something fascinating. The timing of your sleep matters just as much as the number of hours you get. In fact, for those over 70, the ideal sleep window shifts earlier in the night, aligning with the body's natural changes in melatonin production and circadian rhythms. If you've ever found yourself feeling sleepy around 9 or 9:30 p.m., only to force yourself to stay awake until 11 or midnight, you're unknowingly working against your own biology. One of my patients, Mr. Reynolds, spent years struggling with sleep. He'd stay up late watching television, hoping to exhaust himself into a deep sleep. But instead, he'd toss and turn for hours, waking up every morning feeling worse than the day before. When he came to me, he was frustrated. "Doctor, I just don't understand. I'm sleeping for 7 hours, but I still feel awful." What he didn't realize was that the quality of his sleep was suffering because he was missing his body's natural sleep window. See, our sleep cycles operate in predictable phases: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. The timing of these cycles changes with age, and when we ignore our body's signals, we end up cutting off the most restorative stages of sleep. I suggested something simple. Go to bed at 9:30 p.m. instead of 11:30 p.m. and wake up naturally without an alarm to see how he felt. He hesitated at first. "That's too early," he said. "I'll feel like I'm going to bed before the day is even over." But he agreed to give it a shot for 2 weeks. What happened next shocked him. After just a few nights, he noticed something incredible. He wasn't waking up groggy anymore. He had more energy throughout the day. His headaches, which he had suffered from for years, started to disappear. He even found himself in a better mood, something his wife pointed out before he even realized it himself. That's because his body was finally getting what it needed: uninterrupted, high-quality sleep. The deep sleep stage, which is responsible for physical restoration and memory consolidation, happens earlier in the night. And by pushing his bedtime too late, he was skipping over that critical window. This is something I see all the time. People assume that all sleep is created equal, but that's simply not true. If you fall asleep during the wrong window, you might still get 7 or 8 hours, but your body isn't getting the full benefits of restorative sleep. And this is especially crucial as we age. Deep sleep isn't just about feeling well rested, it's about longevity. Studies have shown that poor sleep quality is directly linked to cognitive decline, heart disease, and even a weakened immune system. When we lose deep sleep, our brains don't get the chance to clear out toxins, which increases the risk of Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases. It's not just about how much sleep you get, it's about when you get it. One of the most powerful studies on aging and sleep, published in the Journal of Neuroscience, found that seniors who went to bed earlier and maintained a consistent schedule had significantly lower rates of memory decline. Their brains functioned more efficiently, their reflexes were sharper, and they even showed lower levels of inflammation in the body. That's why adjusting your sleep schedule isn't just a small lifestyle change. It's a key to protecting your health and independence as you age. When I share this with my patients, they often have one big concern. But what if I wake up too early? That's a great question. Many people worry that shifting their bedtime earlier will cause them to wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. and feel restless. But here's the thing. When your sleep is high quality, your body naturally finds its own rhythm. You may wake up a little earlier than you're used to, but instead of feeling groggy and frustrated, you'll feel ready to start the day. Take my patient, Mrs. Carter. She had spent years forcing herself to stay awake until midnight, assuming it would help her sleep through the night. But all it did was leave her feeling exhausted in the morning. When she made the shift to a 9:30 p.m. bedtime, she naturally started waking up at 6 a.m. And she felt incredible. She had more energy, fewer aches and pains, and even noticed her digestion improving. This is because when your sleep aligns with your body's natural rhythms, everything starts working more efficiently. Your metabolism improves, your stress hormones regulate themselves better, and your immune system becomes stronger. It's not magic, it's biology. But what about those who struggle with falling asleep, even when they try to go to bed earlier? That's a common issue. And it often comes down to one simple factor: overstimulation before bed. Our modern world is filled with bright screens, artificial lights, and constant stimulation, all of which interfere with melatonin production. One of the easiest ways to naturally reset your sleep schedule is by dimming the lights and avoiding screens at least an hour before bed. Your body needs time to transition into sleep mode, and exposure to blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. This delays melatonin production and makes it harder to fall asleep, even when you feel tired. A fascinating study from Stanford University found that simply reducing screen time before bed led to an average increase of 45 minutes of deep sleep per night. That's nearly an extra sleep cycle, which means your body gets more time to repair itself, boost your immune function, and process memories. Another key factor: temperature. Many people don't realize that body temperature plays a crucial role in sleep quality. As we age, our internal thermostat becomes less efficient, which is why older adults often struggle with overheating at night. The ideal bedroom temperature for deep sleep is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. If you often wake up in the middle of the night feeling hot, try lowering the temperature in your room or using breathable, lightweight bedding. So what happens when you put all of this together? Adjusting your bedtime, reducing screen time, and creating the right sleep environment. You unlock the full power of your body's natural sleep cycle, and the results can be life-changing. I've seen patients who thought they were doomed to struggle with sleep for the rest of their lives finally find peace. They wake up feeling rested for the first time in years. Their energy levels soar, their mood improves, and even their blood pressure stabilizes. The right sleep schedule isn't just about feeling better, it's about living better. And here's the best part: it's never too late to make the change. Whether you're 50, 70, or even 90, your body is always capable of adjusting. The key is to start with small, consistent changes that work with your natural rhythms rather than against them. Now imagine waking up each morning feeling completely refreshed, without the stiffness, without the mental fog, without that sluggish need for an extra cup of coffee just to get going. It's not a fantasy. It's what happens when your body finally gets the sleep it's been craving. And here's the thing: this transformation doesn't require complicated routines, expensive supplements, or sleeping pills. It all starts with understanding how to work with your body instead of against it. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, especially as they get older, is assuming that bad sleep is just part of aging. They accept waking up multiple times a night, feeling drained in the morning, or struggling to stay asleep as if it's just something they have to live with. But what if I told you that in most cases, these problems aren't just happening by chance? That in reality, they're the result of habits that can be corrected. Take Mr. Henderson, for example. He was convinced that no matter what he did, his sleep would never improve. "It's just old age," he told me, shaking his head. "I've tried everything. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I'll still wake up tired." But as we talked, I noticed something interesting. He had a habit of drinking a glass of wine in the evening, thinking it would help him relax before bed. What he didn't realize was that alcohol disrupts sleep quality, especially deep sleep. Alcohol might make you feel drowsy, but it prevents your body from entering the most restorative stages of sleep. Instead of moving through the normal sleep cycles smoothly, your brain gets stuck in a lighter stage of sleep, making you more likely to wake up throughout the night. It also dehydrates you, leading to restlessness and frequent trips to the bathroom. I suggested he replace his evening glass of wine with a calming herbal tea, and within a week he noticed a huge difference. He was sleeping deeper, waking up less, and feeling more energized during the day. It was a small change, but it had a massive impact. The truth is, sleep isn't just about what happens when you close your eyes. It's about everything you do in the hours leading up to bedtime. One of the most overlooked factors. Evening light exposure. Your body operates on an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. This clock is heavily influenced by light. In the morning, exposure to natural sunlight helps wake you up and set your energy levels for the day. But in the evening, bright lights, especially blue light from screens, trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. I had another patient, Mrs. Lee, who struggled with falling asleep for years. She would lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling frustrated that her mind wouldn't shut off. She had tried everything: meditation, warm baths, even prescription sleep aids, but nothing seemed to work. When I asked her about her nighttime routine, I discovered she spent the last hour before bed scrolling through her phone, reading news articles and checking social media. What she didn't realize was that the blue light from her screen was blocking her body's ability to produce melatonin, the hormone that signals it's time to sleep. I challenged her to turn off all screens at least an hour before bed and instead spend that time reading a physical book or listening to calming music. She was skeptical at first, but after a few nights, she couldn't believe the difference. "I don't know why I didn't do this sooner," she told me. "I'm actually falling asleep within minutes instead of lying awake for hours." This is why small, intentional changes matter. Something as simple as dimming your lights in the evening and avoiding screens can drastically improve sleep quality. It's not about making extreme changes. It's about creating an environment that allows your body to do what it was designed to do naturally. Another crucial factor: movement. Many people assume that as they age, they should slow down and avoid too much activity. But the opposite is true when it comes to sleep. Gentle exercise, especially earlier in the day, helps regulate sleep hormones and makes it easier to fall asleep at night. I've seen it happen over and over again. Patients who struggled with insomnia for years started walking for just 30 minutes a day, and suddenly their sleep improved dramatically. That's because movement helps reduce stress hormones, increase circulation, and signal to your body that it's time to rest at night. But here's an important detail: timing matters. Exercise too close to bedtime, and you might find yourself too energized to sleep. The best time to move: in the morning or early afternoon. This aligns with your body's natural rhythms and helps reinforce a healthy sleep-wake cycle. And speaking of cycles, there's something else that makes a huge difference: consistency. Your body thrives on routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your internal clock. One of the most common mistakes I see: sleeping in on weekends to catch up on lost sleep. While this might feel like it's helping, it actually confuses your body's rhythm, making it harder to fall asleep when Sunday night rolls around. The best approach? Stick to a regular schedule, even if it means resisting the temptation to stay up late watching TV or sleeping in an extra few hours. When you combine all these strategies, adjusting bedtime, reducing screen time, keeping a consistent routine, getting morning sunlight, and incorporating gentle movement, you create the perfect conditions for deep, restorative sleep. And the best part? You don't have to do everything at once. Start small. Even 1 or 2 changes can lead to noticeable improvements within days. I've seen patients who thought they were doomed to suffer through restless nights experience a complete transformation. They wake up feeling younger, sharper, and more alive. Their memory improves, their mood lifts, and their overall health stabilizes. Sleep is the foundation of everything. When you fix your sleep, you fix so much more in your life. And the most important thing to remember: it's never too late to reclaim your sleep. Whether you've been struggling for months, years, or even decades, your body still has the ability to reset. All it needs is the right support. The beauty of sleep is that it has the power to restore, heal, and even reverse years of damage in the body. But to tap into its full potential, you have to give your body what it needs at the right time. And one of the biggest disruptors of sleep quality: stress. We often think of stress as something that only affects our emotions, but it plays a massive role in how well we sleep. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, a hormone designed to keep you alert and ready for action. This was useful for our ancestors when they needed to escape danger. But in today's world, chronic stress keeps cortisol levels high, long after the threat is gone. And when cortisol stays elevated, it blocks melatonin, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. I had a patient, Mr. Dawson, who came to me after years of battling restless nights. He was exhausted, frustrated, and desperate for a solution. I go to bed on time. I avoid caffeine. I even tried meditation, but nothing works, he told me. After digging deeper, I discovered that every night before bed, he would watch the news, often absorbing stressful stories about world events, finances, or politics. Without realizing it, he was flooding his brain with anxiety right before trying to sleep. His body was in fight or flight mode instead of sleep mode. I suggested a simple change. Replace the news with a relaxing activity like reading a book or listening to calming music. Within a week, he started noticing a difference. Within a month, he was sleeping through the night. This is something I tell all my patients. Protect your peace before bed. The last hour of your day sets the tone for your sleep. If you spend it worrying, overthinking, or absorbing negative information, your body will struggle to shut down. But if you create a peaceful wind-down routine, sleep will come naturally. For some, this means practicing deep breathing exercises, journaling, or even taking a warm bath. For others, it could be something as simple as lighting a candle, drinking a cup of herbal tea, or listening to nature sounds. The key is to signal to your brain that it's time to relax. And here's another powerful tool: gratitude. It might sound simple, but ending your day with gratitude can shift your mindset and lower stress hormones. I once worked with a woman who struggled with sleep for over a decade. She had tried every sleep aid, every remedy, and nothing worked. Then she started a gratitude journal. Every night before bed, she wrote down 3 things she was grateful for. At first, she didn't notice much change, but after 2 weeks, something shifted. She started falling asleep faster. Her mind wasn't racing with worries, it was focused on the good. And science backs this up. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude before bed lowers cortisol, increases melatonin, and helps regulate sleep cycles. But stress isn't the only factor affecting sleep. Another major disruptor? Late-night eating. Many people don't realize that digestion and sleep are closely linked. When you eat late at night, your body is forced to focus on digestion instead of rest. This can lead to acid reflux, bloating, and even disruptions in blood sugar levels, all of which make it harder to get deep, restorative sleep. I had a patient, Mr. Simmons, who always snacked before bed. "I just can't sleep on an empty stomach," he told me. But his late-night eating habit was causing spikes and crashes in his blood sugar, leading to frequent awakenings throughout the night. I suggested he try shifting his last meal to at least 3 hours before bedtime. Instead of heavy snacks, he opted for a small handful of nuts or a warm cup of chamomile tea if he felt hungry. Within days, his sleep improved dramatically. And this brings us to another overlooked but critical factor: hydration. Many older adults wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom, disrupting their sleep cycles. While staying hydrated is essential, drinking too much liquid too close to bedtime can be counterproductive. The key is to front-load your water intake earlier in the day and taper off in the evening. One of my patients, Mrs. Collins, was waking up 3 or 4 times a night to go to the bathroom. She assumed it was just a part of aging. But after reviewing her habits, we realized she was drinking several cups of tea before bed, thinking it would help her relax. What she didn't realize was that the extra fluids, combined with the natural decrease in bladder control that comes with aging, were causing these nighttime wake-ups. I suggested she gradually shift her hydration earlier in the day, and within a week she was sleeping through the night without interruptions. Small changes, big results. And here's something fascinating: your sleep position can also impact sleep quality. Many people don't think about how they position their bodies at night, but it plays a huge role in whether you wake up feeling rested or stiff and sore. Research has shown that sleeping on your back can sometimes lead to airway blockages, increasing the risk of snoring and sleep apnea. Side sleeping, particularly on the left side, is often better for digestion and circulation. One of my patients, Mr. Bennett, was waking up with back pain every morning. He assumed it was just normal aging, but after evaluating his sleep posture, we discovered he was sleeping on an old, unsupportive mattress, and in a position that was putting pressure on his lower back. A simple adjustment, adding a supportive pillow between his knees and switching to a medium firm mattress, completely changed his mornings. These are the details that matter. When people struggle with sleep, they often look for a big, dramatic solution. But in reality, improving sleep is about fine-tuning the little things. And here's the most important part. Good sleep isn't just about feeling better, it's about living longer. A groundbreaking study from the University of California found that people who consistently get high-quality sleep have a lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even dementia. Why? Because sleep is when your body repairs itself. It's when your brain clears out toxins, when your immune system strengthens, and when your heart rate and blood pressure regulate. People often ask me, what's the best anti-aging secret? My answer is always the same: fix your sleep. It's the most powerful, natural way to slow down aging and protect your health. And the best part? You don't need fancy equipment, expensive treatments, or complicated routines. You just need to understand your body's natural rhythms and work with them instead of against them. So here's my challenge for you. Take just one of these strategies and apply it tonight. Whether it's adjusting your bedtime, dimming the lights, cutting out late-night snacks, or simply practicing gratitude before bed, start somewhere. Because the moment you prioritize your sleep, everything else in your life begins to improve. Now imagine this: waking up every morning feeling fully restored, your mind sharp, your body light, and your mood lifted. No dragging yourself through the day, no mid-afternoon crashes, no frustration over sleepless nights. Just a steady, natural energy that carries you through from sunrise to sunset. This is what happens when you finally align your sleep with your body's needs. I've seen it time and time again. Patients who once believed they were stuck in an endless cycle of exhaustion, tossing and turning, waking up groggy, only to discover that with a few small changes they could reclaim the deep, uninterrupted sleep they thought was lost forever. And the truth is, fixing sleep isn't just about how you feel in the moment. It's about protecting your future. Because here's something that most people don't realize. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired. It accelerates aging, weakens the immune system, and even increases the risk of serious health conditions like heart disease, Alzheimer's, and high blood pressure. One of the most eye-opening studies I've come across comes from the National Institute on Aging. Researchers found that even just a few nights of disrupted sleep can increase the buildup of beta-amyloid plaques in the brain, one of the key markers of Alzheimer's disease. Sleep is when the brain cleans itself, flushing out toxins and repairing cellular damage. When sleep is compromised, those toxins build up, increasing the risk of memory loss and cognitive decline. This is why prioritizing sleep is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health, no matter your age. It's not just about feeling better today. It's about protecting your brain, your heart, your immune system, and your overall well-being for years to come. I had a patient, Mrs. Reynolds, who came to me feeling like she was losing herself. "I used to be so sharp," she told me, "but now I forget things all the time. I walk into a room and don't remember why I'm there. I lose track of conversations. I feel like my brain just isn't working the way it used to." After evaluating her habits, I noticed a pattern. Her sleep was fragmented. She was waking up multiple times a night, barely getting into deep sleep, and as a result, her brain wasn't getting the restoration it needed. We made a few adjustments, shifting her bedtime earlier, reducing screen exposure at night, and ensuring she got morning sunlight first thing in the morning. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s transform their sleep and feel decades younger just by making these small adjustments. And if they can do it, so can you. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, remember this: your body wants to rest. Your mind wants to restore itself. Give yourself the gift of quality sleep, and you'll wake up tomorrow feeling like a whole new version of yourself. Because the power to sleep better isn't something you have to search for. It's already within you. All you have to do is listen to what your body has been asking for all along.